Greetings, exiles, and I'm continuing my magic find journey. I've earned some currency and it's time for some upgrades. New magic find gloves. Easy craft. Now let's make a classic bow for chaos damage over time build. You need to buy a base like this. Alteration spam until I find a T1 chaos damage over time modifier. Regal orb and orb of annulment. We need a rare bow with chaos damage over time. Benchcraft and exalted slam. We're guaranteed +1 to the level of socketed gems. Now I am buying Hunter's exalted orb, and here we are also guaranteed to get what we need. Unfortunately, I was unlucky and this is only a T4 modifier. Oh well, it happens. Once again, benchcraft. The bow is ready and I spent about 7 divine orbs on it. But it's worth it, because it increases our DPS significantly. Here I want to take a little aside and talk about one important topic. Namely about the unique bow Widowhail, because that's what many of you have seen often being used. But I don't recommend using it because with the classic chaos damage over time bow our damage will be much higher. Because caustic arrow scales very well with levels, and if we use Widowhail we lose a lot of levels. The only case when you should use this unique bow is if you have this kind of armor, which will give caustic arrow 3 or even 4 extra levels. So if you are the lucky owner of such an item, then use Widowhail, but don't forget to buy a good quiver for at least 40 divine orbs beforehand. Let's continue crafting, because I need a new helmet. I start by buying a base like this and essences like this. That might not be enough, because I want to get increased items rarity and life. Never mind. It was very fast. Sometimes lucky. But I need to test my luck again. I need to remove dexterity. All the time lucky. All the time. Benchcraft and lucky slam. Okay, that's not the worst case scenario. Eldritch implicit and some magic. And the new helmet is ready. Enlighten level 3 because I want to activate the extra aura. And a new amulet with more mana reservation as well as a new anointment. Now I can use Purity of Elements, which will give us resistances and most importantly elemental ailment immunity, because shock and ignite are very annoying. I also need new clusters. No way. Why is it so expensive? This is a ripoff. Let's just make them ourselves. I am going to buy a base and some supplies and see what I can do. It'll take some time. Just what I need, and I spent a lot less than 8 divine orbs. Let's make another one of these because I need 2 for this build. I need to get fossils and resonators. Wow. Nice cluster, but not for my build, but I can easily sell it for a few divine orbs. I'll buy a couple more crafting bases, just in case. And another good cluster for sale. These clusters are selling like hotcakes. Easy money. And here's the cluster I want. To summarize the results of this crafting session, I spent 15 divine orbs, sold some clusters for 18 divine orbs, and got 2 clusters for my build, each worth 8 divine orbs. Total I got 19 divine orbs of income per hour. That's where the real money is, in the Path of Exile, not this magic find. Why don't we stop killing monsters and make and sell shovels? Easy money? Nope. Just kidding, it's too boring. I need a few more clusters, but this time without crafting, I'm done for the day. Good. I'll also need a Watcher's Eye like this. And a unique jewel. I found a pretty good one, and you'll probably have a hard time finding one. But you don't need all 4 modifiers, and look for one with those 2 modifiers. New armor and new setup for Toxic Rain and Frenzy. Not a mandatory upgrade that you can skip if you are on a tight budget. New jewel with Corrupted Blood immunity. And of course a couple of new Venter's Gamble. That's enough shopping and upgrades for today, because I've already spent a lot of currency. And I hope that those of you who are journeying with me have enough information for your next upgrades. Well, I'm going to go to the maps. Let's see what I can find there and also talk about my atlas and farming strategy. Some good loot. And a couple gifts from my brother. Oh no. Not this. My first T0 item, and of course it's trash. Unfortunately, this bow has the same rarity as Mage Blood or Headhunter, but it is worthless. And if there was an expensive T0 in its place, it would be a profit of at least 40 divine orbs and even more with the Headhunter. But unfortunately, magic find is random and no one is protected from bad luck. But the main thing is not to give up, right? Right. Good loot and valuable T0 item. As for my atlas, it looks like this. And as you can see, my main strategy is Abyss and T7 Cemetery. The only difference between my atlas and the standard Abyss atlas is that instead of Beyond I use Breach and Harvest. This is because my main goal is to gather as many wisps as possible, and if you gather 5,000 or more wisps, then Beyond becomes a deadly threat. So for most of my viewers, I recommend this atlas because it's much easier for those of you who don't have a Headhunter. Additionally, Breach and Harvest add a lot of monsters, and these mechanics don't interfere with our abysses, and with Breach and Harvest we will always get the maximum number of abysses. I use these scarabs. And Sextant with additional abysses. In the comments of my last video, many of you posted that they use the same farming strategy, but they have absolutely no loot. I can say with full confidence that T7 Cemetery with Abyss is a working and profitable strategy. In most cases, if your loot is worse than mine, there are 2 reasons. The first one is that you are collecting very few wisps. If your normal amount of wisps is 1,500 or even less, your loot will be pathetic. You need to learn how to use the League mechanics to the fullest. There are already a lot of videos on YouTube on this topic, and I recommend watching them, because wisps are the most important thing in this strategy. For example, this is a map with more than 6,000 wisps, and as you can see, this is a very big loot explosion. In addition to scarabs, I found a couple of divine orbs. And here is a map with 3,000 wisps. Here loot explosion is much smaller, although I was still lucky enough to find a small loot goblin. So as I said before, learning to use the mechanics of the League is the key to success. Well, the second reason is that many of you kill Stygian Spire very quickly. Your build is too good. But if you kill Stygian Spire quickly, it will not be able to summon monsters, and therefore you will not be able to kill them and get valuable loot. So you need to play carefully and watch your damage. Although personally I do not have such a problem, because my build has 0 DPS and you cannot accidentally kill Stygian Spire. I recommend it. I'm probably boring you with T7 Cemetery and Abyss because it's a very popular topic now and there are a huge amount of videos about this strategy on YouTube. But at the moment it is one of the most effective ways to magic find. Besides, it does not need a very expensive build. For example, my current variant can do maps with 6000 Wisp and for example, for T16 maps with 6000 Wisp you need a more expensive build, where Headhunter will be a mandatory component. So I will continue to use this atlas. Why change anything if everything works? Compared to my last video, I have improved this build considerably and now it feels much nicer. But I still have a lot of purchases ahead of me because I still have a long way to go to become a hero. I'm also considering changing Wildwood Ascendancy because at this stage the 3 extra charms look much stronger than my current bonuses. But that will all be in my next video. Thank you all for watching, commenting and giving me advice. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, join my Discord channel. The link you will find in the description of this video. Bye everyone and see you in new videos.